Hi guys, so we're starting a new science lesson. And it's going to be on electricity. So make sure you have your science notebook, pen, pencil, and different color pens or different color pencils to take down your notes. You will also have two seesaw assignments on electricity, including this one and one more, electricity mind map. And I'll explain more to it when we get further into the lesson. So go ahead and make sure you have all your supplies so we could get started. So open to a brand new page in your notebook, and you're right on the top, you're going to write electricity. So our aim here, our objective is that I can explain ways that electricity is generated. Now say it one more time with me out loud. I can explain ways that electricity is generated. And what do we mean by that? What we mean is that by the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to tell me how electricity is made and how it's power on. So our success criteria know that we have learned our lesson means I can explain what you know about electricity, and you're able to explain to me where electricity comes from. Make sure you write your objective right underneath the title of your lesson, Electricity, in your notebook. Just remember, if you need to pause or rewind the video at any time, go ahead and do so. So, electricity. What do you know about electricity? I'm going to have you create a mind map to show you what you already know about this topic. And I want you to think of any questions that you would like to find out about electricity. So here's some ideas to think about when you're doing this assignment. Think about where electricity comes from, how light switches work, and which materials will allow electricity to flow through them. And somehow, what are different items that use electricity? So brainstorm. Go ahead and pause the video and brainstorm about these questions that I asked you. So this is the mind map activity that we'll be doing, and that's where we need answering, ask all those questions about how electricity works, where do we think it comes from, how do you think switches work, which materials will let electricity flow through them, which items need electricity to order to work, how can we use electricity safely, and how does electricity occur naturally? So I like you to draw or write about the things you already know about electricity. And these are the questions just to use to brainstorm, to bounce off ideas. It's okay if you do not know the answer to these questions, but go ahead and ask me, hey, Miss Gonzalez, I also have the same question as this bubble here. And then the bottom, do you have any questions about electricity? And what would you like to find out? Write your thoughts below. So this will be posted on Seesaw. Remember to, if you have additional notes, you can always upload a photo of your notes of additional questions as well. So what is electricity? So make sure you put that question on top. I'm going to write the definition. When we refer to electricity, what we usually mean is an electric current, which is the flow of an electric charge. Anytime you see the letter bold in this lesson, make sure you pick a separate color other than your main color pen, and you're going to either highlight or underline or write those words in another color. So electricity occurs naturally. And here's some examples below where it occurs naturally. We have lightning. We have static electricity. That's when you have it's like the balloon and you rub it against your head and then your hair goes all up in static. So all that is natural electricity. And we also have bioelectricity, which is produced in living things such as electric eels. So eels is a sea creature that has an electric current running through them. So make sure you write down these three different examples and how this is how electricity occurs naturally. So what is electricity? Take a look at the photo and see how many items you guys could pick out that's run by electricity. Go ahead and list them in your notebook. Which ones do you see? Even call some out loud. Let's see, how many can you find? I have found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 different things are on the photo are shown where electricity is found. Can you find more? Go ahead and pause the video and point them all out. Are you ready? So, electricity powers many of the things we use every day, such as television, phones, computers, lights, microwaves. And electricity occurs naturally, such as in lighting or even in your body to send messages from your brain to your organs. Over time, scientists have worked out how to use electricity to make things work. They also discovered ways to generate it or to make electricity. This has meant that electricity was more readily available and things could be powered more easily. So, this sort of electricity is known as current electricity. And we're going to highlight current electricity. Current electricity is a flow of electrical charge through material, and often it flows through the wires to travel from a power source to an appliance. So let's go over that. Let's go over current electricity. So, so current electricity is electricity that's generated, that is powered. And because of its power, it means that we could use it in different functions, such as charging your iPad, how you're learning this lesson, or charging your cell phone. All that, the way that's charged to the electricity to the device, that would be current electricity. It's a flow of an electrical charge through material, so often through a cable or through different wirings. And it flows from a power source to an appliance. So think about where you plug it in. Where do you plug your phone or your iPad? That is the power source, and the cord, that is the wires that travels electricity to your appliance or to your device. So, what is electricity? And these are two types of electrical current that we use to power appliances and devices. The first one is the main electricity, which is an alternating current. So, think of your outlet. This is where you plug things in. And the second one is batteries, which will generate in a direct current. So, anything that needs batteries will be a direct current. So, think about what different items you have in your house that you put batteries in, like remote controls, maybe some toys, or if you have like a electric screwdriver sometimes, even though some of them are actually electric now with charging devices. So think about what devices use batteries and what devices can you charge by plugging it in to an outlet. Where does electricity come from? Electricity comes from an energy source that is way of powering something. Electricity is a secondary energy source, which means it's made from primary sources of energy. So, what are primary sources of energy? And this includes coal, oil, natural gas, wind power, and solar power. So, these are all energy sources that power something else. And electricity is a secondary energy source. So primary source means that we get what is powered by due to different things that are natural. So think of like natural resources, right? Because we have coal, oil, natural gas, wind power. You remember if you have traveled a bit outside of California, you maybe seen these large windmills. So that would be wind power. And then the solar panels you could also find on top of some houses. They gather energy from the sun to make things run. So all of these are primary sources of energy, meaning they use natural source to get this energy. Electricity is a secondary energy source. So, but where does this electricity come from? Since electricity is a second source of energy, it needs to be generated or made. Remember, generated means to be made from a primary source of energy. So, what were the primary sources of energy? Go ahead and take a look at your notes or rewind the video. Remember, primary source of energy is natural gas, wind power, solar power, coal, and oil. Those are your primary source of energy. But electricity is a secondary source that needs run from one of the primary sources of energy to be created. So we could use fossil fuels such as coal, oil, natural gases, and we burn them by producing heat, which generates electricity. We also have nuclear, and this is energy that is created when atoms are either combined, split, or creating heat, and they can be converted into electricity. We also have hydro and wind. Water is used in the dams, and the winds is used in turn windmills, and they both generate electricity. We also have solar. The sun's ray shines on special panels, which convert its energy into electricity. And we have the geothermal. Geothermal energy is the heat from the earth, which can be converted into electricity. So I'm going to talk a little bit about geothermal. Have you ever seen those, whether it be on TV or some documentaries, or when they have like these special cameras and they call like the heat thermal cameras? So they're they put it on a person and there's different colors and they see like red, orange, and yellow, and it detects where there's more heat in the body. So think about geothermal energy that way. Where is the heat radiating from the person body? But here, geothermal is where the root word is thermal, right? And the we have the other keyword geo, which means to earth, like geology. So geothermal energy is the heat from the earth that can be converted into electricity. So I'm going to stop here today, and we're going to continue to next week on where does electricity come from, and we're going to talk more about fossil fuels, geothermal, hydro, wind, solar, and nuclear. So go ahead and make sure you log into Seesaw and you upload your notes from this lesson so I could take a look at them. Be as neat as possible and make sure you copy them all your notes down from all the slides to receive full credit. Also, make sure you do your electricity mind map and put any additional questions you have on electricity. Bye, guys.